So the other day, we received some pretty massive leaks of some games that could be coming out in the years of 2021 and 2022. And with all those games leaked, there's a couple games that I've actually wanted to go into details with and talk about how this new game is going to work and how it's going to be a big game for the year. And upon asking you guys what you wanted to see first, you guys really wanted to see this Paper Mario 64 remake potentially coming to the Nintendo Switch. So I decided to dive in deep and talk about how big this game is and how important Paper Mario 64 remake could be. So if you've seen my last video, you know that all these rumors came in from Marco Mero on Twitter. And originally, this Paper Mario 64 remake actually was a long time in development as a leak and a rumor. In fact, the rumor stated that this game was going to come to the DS, and it still was stated that this was coming to the DS before it was actually officially cut off and dead. So production then moved on to the Nintendo Switch apparently, and it's getting ready to be released on Nintendo Switch now after being in development for a couple of years. Obviously right now this is just a grain of salt and rumors down the rumor mill and from multiple different sources, but all we could do is take this as a rumor right now. But if Paper Mario 64 does happen and does come back in HD on the Nintendo Switch, how big is that actually for the community? Well, I can tell you right now, it's huge. Paper Mario hasn't been on the best path lately. The first game in the series being 64, then moving on to probably the best in the series, The Thousand Year Door, and then a weird take on the series with Super Paper Mario. They finally decided to outdo themselves with the following next three games and completely screw up the formula of Paper Mario. They completely mess up the battle system by implementing these collectible stickers and cards for Sticker Star and Color Splash, and people really didn't like that. And even with Origami King, people still didn't like the intuitive battle system and wanted just the original way to play Paper Mario, a turn-based RPG at heart. So after a whopping 3 sequels that were alike in a row, with Sticker Star, Color Splash, and Origami King, people have kind of given up on Paper Mario for good, and they've just kind of given up on the fact that Paper Mario will never return to its roots, and the only way to do that is if they remade and went back to the old past games, and they look like they're about to do that finally. This is huge because eventually one thing leads to another. If this game does successful, then the potential of another remake of a past game, which is obviously The Thousand Year Door from the GameCube, is going to come into fruition, which people wanted for years now. And if that happens, they'll finally kind of understand what made Paper Mario so good in the first place. They'll look at the first game and look at the second game and see, wow, this is what people really wanted, this is why people liked this. There was partners, there was turn-based combat, everything made sense, and then finally we'll get that true third game in the series that we never really got based on the first two, and then people will absolutely lose their mind. Paper Mario will return to its former glory. But let's just say this game actually does happen, it does successful, and we finally do get Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door HD as well on the Switch. I think this is a bigger deal than almost anything Nintendo has remade ever, because this kind of signifies that Nintendo knows now what they have done wrong. They finally have listened to the community, they finally have come together, and in order to give us what we want in the future, they decided to take a step back and give us what we already had, and show us, what was so good about Paper Mario again. Get those new fans in and exploring what Paper Mario actually was from the very beginning. And Thousand Year Door is a great way to do that as well. And I would be so excited to play one of my favorite games of all time in HD on the Switch again. After already receiving Super Mario Sunshine from 3D All-Stars, this is about to completely fill my wish of all time, and I just don't know how to act. But Paper Mario 64 is also a very good game and definitely does need remade, and actually out of all the 64 games, there's very few that never got remade. I mean, I'm sure you could think of a lot of them, but for instance, you probably only have Donkey Kong 64, and that's really about it. Well, I guess you could throw Kirby Crystal Shards in there too. But there's nothing else to really talk about here. This is a remake, and not just any remake though. This isn't just an ordinary game finally seeing the daylight once again after many years. This is a game for revival. This is the game that Paper Mario fans need. For this to get remade is hope. It's hope for the future of the Paper Mario franchise, and it's hope to the return of form that people have really wanted. And I hope that eventually this does happen, and also in fact for the Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door to get remade as well. That would be a dream come true. Finally, for not only Nintendo fans, but for Paper Mario fans everywhere. But with that said, what do you guys think in the comments down below? Do you think this is possible? Do you think Nintendo is actually working on a Paper Mario 64? Or will they never go back and touch the likes of what they've created in the past and just move forward with more mechanically confusing battle systems? Well, let me know in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to Nintendo Land to stay up to date on Paper Mario and all things Nintendo. And like the video if you enjoyed, it helps out a lot. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.